there is not a crash in our foreseeable future, and here are 3 graphs that show how today's inventory does differ from 2008. Even if you didn't own a home at that time, you probably remember the housing crisis in 2008. The crash impacted the lives of countless people, and many now live with the worry of something like that could happen again. But rest easy, because things are different than they looked back then. A business insider says, although many Americans believe that the housing market is at risk of a crash, the economists who study housing market conditions overwhelmingly do not expect a crash in 2024 or beyond. Here are a few reasons why the experts are confident. For the market and the home prices to crash, there would need to be too many houses for sale, but the data doesn't show that that's happening. Right now, there is still an undersupply, not an oversupply like the last time. And that's true even with the inventory growth that you've seen over the last year. You will see the housing supply comes from 3 main sources. 1 is just homeowners deciding to sell their existing homes. 2 is going to be the new construction, so newly built homes that are going on the market. And 3rd is going to be the distressed properties, so your foreclosures and your short sales. And if we look at those 3 main sources of inventory, you'll see it's clear it is not like 2008. So let's look into homeowners that are just looking to sell their home. Although the supply of existing previously owned homes is up compared to last year, it is still low overall. And while this varies by local market, nationally, the current month's supply is well below the norm and even further below what we saw during the crash. Take a look at the graph and you can see a little more clearly. If you look at the latest data shown in green compared to 2008 shown in red, we only have about 1/3 of the available inventory today. So what does that mean? There just isn't enough homes to make home values drop like they did back in 2008. To have a repeat of 2008, we would need a lot more people to sell their homes and very few buyers. And that's just not the case right now. And second, new construction. People are talking a lot about what's going on with newly built homes these days. And that might be you wondering if home builders are overdoing it. Even though new homes make up a large percentage of the total inventory than the norm, there's no need for alarm. Here's why. The graph shows data from the census to show the number of new homes built over the last 52 years. The orange on the graph shows the overbuilding that happened to lead up to the crash. And if you look at the red of the graph, you'll see that the builders have been underbuilding pretty consistently ever since then. There's just too much of a gap to make up. Builders aren't overbuilding, they're actually just catching up. And last is distressed properties, so foreclosures and short sales. The last place of inventory is going to come from our distressed properties, including short sales and foreclosures. During the housing crisis, there was a flood of foreclosures due to the lending standards that allowed many people to get loans that truly just couldn't afford it. Today, lending standards are just much tighter, resulting in more qualified buyers and fewer foreclosures. This graph makes it clear as lending standards got tighter and buyers became more qualified, the number of foreclosures started to go down, and in 2020 and 2021, the combination of moratorium on foreclosures, shown in the black, and the forbearance program helped prevent a repeat of the wave of foreclosures we saw when the market did crash. While you may see in the headlines that the foreclosure volume is ticking back up, that is only compared to the recent years from when very few foreclosures were happening. We're still below the norm level we'd see in a typical year. What this means for you is inventory levels aren't really near where they would need to be for price drop significantly and the housing market to take a crash. The bottom line is the market doesn't have enough homes available for a repeat of 2008 housing crisis, and there's nothing that suggests that this will change anytime soon. That's why our housing expert and inventory data tells us there isn't a crash on the horizon.